A recent Jerusalem Post editorial had an article titled "The UNESCO Fiasco." It was concerning the denying of Israel's right to the Holy Land, starting with the Temple Mount. A resolution proposed last week by UNESCO, or the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, questioned whether a temple ever stood on the Temple Mount when it referred to the Temple Mount as the area as the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Al-Haram, or Al-Sharif. The underlying assumption is that if Jews' ties to the Jerusalem and to the Temple Mount can be denied or questioned, it serves the cause of non-Jews, mostly Muslims, who stake a claim to that place, conversely admitting that the simple historical truth that there was a Jewish temple on the Temple Mount is, according to this mode of thinking, a way of weakening Palestinian or Muslim claims to Jerusalem. Well, political manipulation of the ancient history to make a point about current events was what stood behind the UNESCO resolution last week that ignored Jewish ties to the Temple Mount and the Western Wall area in Jerusalem's Old City. UNESCO, of course, is dominated by the voting power of a bloc of Muslim countries. So it's in their best interest to deny that the temple ever stood there. The Temple Mount today is where Abraham was told by God to sacrifice Isaac. It's also where Solomon's first temple stood and where the second temple stood until it was destroyed by the Roman general Titus in 70 AD. I personally stood there 2 weeks ago and saw the original foundational stones to the walls that King Herod built around the Temple Mount. There is no denying that the Temple Mount stood in that exact spot. No intellectually honest person seriously doubts that the Jewish people has religious, cultural, and historic ties to the land of Israel. Attempts to deny these ties are a perversion of science itself. That UNESCO is engaging in such perversion is a tragedy and a tragic testimony to the sorrowful state of the United Nations institutions. Of course, the Bible prophesies that the world government ruled by the Antichrist will be against Israel in the end time, and this is just one more step in the direction of that fulfillment of that prophecy.